Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
B-17, a scrawny gamer, home alone. The family is FUD. Only have a deer rifle and a shotgun in the house. Both have a lock on them, staying up late. Suddenly hear a ruckus coming from the living room. Not sure what to do. End up getting the shotgun from my parents' room. Have no idea where the key is, or the key to the small lockbox with the ammo. Hear footsteps coming down the hall. Panic. Do the only thing I can think of. Find the slide release. Summon the most backwater deep woods. It's banjo time deliverance voice I can. Rack the slide as hard as I can. Boy chew better git. The ruckus makes its way down the hall and out the door. Pissed that I didn't have access to a loaded firearm. Tell my family what happened. You don't need no loaded gun. Just rack the slide.
Lived in the 15th Ward of New Orleans, one of the few predominantly middle-class neighborhoods in Nolans. Live with a friend as work requires travel. Unfortunately, I got caught in during Katrina. We heard on MySpace that some looting started before the event. The storm rolled in and flooded many areas. Ours was spared for the most part. Oh boy, here we go. Have a milled Mac 90 from before the ban, and a friend has a freshly purchased Set-Me from Century. The assault rifle ban had ended little less than a year before this. We hear gunfire even before the storm has finished. Shit gets weird. Lots of looting, but things remain normal. No electricity or water, sewage is out, and no phones or cell. Here comes the shitstorm. 3 days after landfall, things start to get hairy. Guys are breaking into houses, pulling people out. We heard an old lady got assaulted by some thugs near McDonoughville. Many of the houses are empty, so when we see some guys ripping the plywood off one of the small windows, we got a bit worried. Friend yells at them, "What are you doing?" A guy down the street, heavyset, is yelling to get away from the house. He is carrying some shitty hunting shotgun with a 28-inch barrel. They pull out pistols and start shooting at the guy who is less than 70 feet away. He literally falls behind some parked cars. They then shoot at us. I can hear the bullets breaking glass and hitting the tile in my kitchen. I fall and I get stiff. It was weird for a few seconds. I couldn't move. Friend is crawling and runs to get his gun. We hear the fat man shoot. I don't think it was at them, just up in the air. I can move now. My hands feel cold even in the smoldering heat. Go and grab my AK. Friend is leaning out the window, firing his Set-Me. As impressive as the sound was, it fucked up by the third round. It then was practically a bolt action. Every other good round was on the floor. I get my rifle but have only 2 magazines loaded. Everything is quiet. Then I see a flash as someone slips their hand over the railing to shoot. A bullet actually hits my house. I shoot at the covered porchway. Pop off more than half a magazine when one of them jumps out from behind the wood and takes off down the road. The fat man then fires a salvo of 5 buckshot at the porch. Creepy part. One of the thieves has been hit and he makes this crazy yelp with every breath kind of thing. It feels like he did it forever until it got quiet. The fat man was the first to walk over. He sees the bodies and tells us to come out. We walked over to find 2 guys, one curled up in the corner, another dragged himself towards the back of the house. Both dead. He tells us this is his cousin's house. He states, "I can't believe I killed them. I'm kind of losing my cool at this point." He tells us that he will take care of this. IWTF. Turns out the cousin is a cop, and he is a constable at the courthouse. He carries the bodies away in a wheelbarrow and dumps them in the flooded part. My friend went with him and said he kicked them off into the water.
I talked to one guy in NOLA who said his neighbor shot a guy trying to break in, and when he called to report it all they did was send some guard to pick up the body. No further questioning or anything.
We talk after they get back. The fat guy is under the impression that he killed them. I said nothing to contradict him. He tells us that other neighborhoods are banding together and protecting their own. He wants us to start patrolling the area. I tell him that I don't have the nerve. I don't know what would have happened if he wasn't there still in shock. He says, well, we got to stay put and make sure to keep this under wraps. Tells us about his police background, and not to worry, no one will know. Friend remarks stupidly that, well, any one of us could have been the one that killed him. He spends the next day cleaning up chunking shot-up plywood in the river. 2 other incidents happen. But the fucked up part is when weeks later, one of the neighbors finds a dead guy in their backyard. He was shot in the shoulder and bled out. He was the guy that ran out. They described his wound as bone being shattered by a rifle round.
Hell, I got one from when I was still in high school. Retired neighbor had a massive oak tree fall on his house one day during a windstorm. I helped him patch it up until he can afford to fix it, while him and his wife stay with his son for the time being. He tells me to keep watch on his stuff while he's gone. Can do. Operator on call. New people moved in to a single wide trailer about 1/4 mile up the road. Notice they're kind of sketchy. I mounted webcams on the corners of my house to be used with a program that has motion detecting software after we were broken into while I was at school one day. Always keep the Mossberg loaded 5+1 all double-aught bucks since then. About 8 o'clock one night, I get the signal that there is motion on the left rear corner of the house outside. Figure it's a deer or something walking around since we live pretty much in a woods. Neighbor's workshop is also visible on that camera. Look at the camera feed and see a guy with the general kind of fat body shape as my neighbor. It was almost dark, so pretty hard to make details out. Look out the window to see if the neighbor's car is in the driveway. Nope. Time to operate .jpg. Grab the Mossy and a mag light since it was kind of dark and hard to see. As I run out the back, I tell Mom to call the 5-0. As I get halfway across the thin woods, separating our properties, my mom decides to run out the back door and yell, "Don't shoot anybody," as loud as she can. Hear shit clanging and stuff getting knocked over in the neighbor's shop like somebody is trying to get out fast when I'm 20 feet away from the door to it. In my mind, all I could think was, God damn it. I'm going to murder my own mother if she gets me killed or shot at. Fat guy bursts out with a large 2-inch adjustable wrench above his head like he's going to swing it as I am rounding the corner to the shop door. I'm pretty much behind him when he runs out. Suddenly recognize him. It's the guy who moved in up the road a few weeks ago. Yell, "Hit the fucking dirt," as loud as I can. He turns around and started to run at me with the wrench when he realized that 15.30 caliber balls of lead would soon be headed his way. He stopped and froze with his hands up, still holding the wrench. Yell again, "Get on the ground or you're gonna die," like the edgy teen I was. He slowly gets on the ground with the wrench still in his hand. I walk over with the shotgun still pointed at him to acquire the wrench from his hand. As I start to bend over to grab it, he smacks me in the ankle, with it as hard as he could. With the adrenaline rush still happening, I didn't feel it, but later found out that he broke some of the small bones in my ankle and foot after the fact. My first reaction is to hit him in the back of the head with the butt of my Mossberg. No recoil pad for you fucker. .png. His head made a loud tonk noise when I did it, and he went unconscious. Snatched the wrench from his lifeless corpse and throw it into the side of the building, all the while my mother is screaming, "Stop it, you're gonna kill him." Yell to her and ask when the cops will be here. I didn't call them. I thought you were kidding. My urge to kill my maternal parent increasing. Then fucking call them Ma. She gets all pissy and goes back in the house to call them while I'm standing with one foot on the guy's back. The cops get there, do the report, and inspect the crime scene, while I go call my neighbor to tell him what happened. He's just like, really? Somebody actually broke in? Well, thanks, man. I'm on my way down there. He gets there and clears me of all wrongdoing. The new guy and his wife get arrested for theft, and the several pounds of pot they had stashed in their closet. The property goes back up for rent a few weeks after that. It's strange. Whoever moves in that house always leaves in less than a year.
Be me. Living on 23 acres of peaceful serenity. Tweakerville installed on the far side. No shit, one day I come home from hunting deer, and someone had built a trailer park butting up against my fence line. There are honey boo-boos everywhere, and their mothers are using my goddamn fence as a clothesline. Nothing I can do. Not my land over there, but it is my fence. Hook up electricity. Tweakers figure out it's electric. I hope by burning themselves. Turns out they are inventive, and 2 of them have run extension cords out to my power source. Notice they have exhaust fans in every back window of one trailer, with filters. They are running a meth lab on my fucking power. Being the upstanding citizen that I am, I contact the sheriff immediately. LOL, what fun would that be? Instead, I let it go for about a month. They are nice and comfy, trusting that I have no idea what they are doing. Then, the rains come. When the power goes out, I head to the fence line and wire their drop cords to the pulsing rhino fence of doom. Call the sheriff, invite him over for tea and crumpets. Cletus does not disappoint. Me and the sheriff hear a shotgun blast out back. Get up to go investigate. Cletus out there with a MAV 88, lighting up the deer skulls on the back of my sugar shack. He racks the slide one last time and is dry. The sheriff walks one way. I walk the other, come up on either side of him. Guns drawn. Cletus does not disappoint. Cletus patiently explains to the goddamn sheriff that I intentionally hooked up his meth lab to an unreliable power source. 6 weeks later, Tweakerville is gone, and the sheriff's department owns the land.
Live in a quiet southern town. Hear reports of individuals dressing up as police with airshit guns. At home one day on my day off. Knock-knock.mp3. City police, open up. Dafuk.jpg. Grab the Glock off the table and put it in my waistband. Open the door. Yes, this is dog.jpg. A 250-pound fat guy in a badly wrinkled police costume from Party City with Timberlands. Has a high point and a nylon holster. No duty belt. Yes, officer. How can I help you? I played along. We got a problem, sir. You didn't pay your bail and I got to collect it. Oh, noes.jpg. How much do I owe? $300. What if I can't pay it now? I have to arrest you, sir, and take you down to jail. Let's do this. I'm not going to give you any money and you're going to leave my property before I call the real police. He puts his hand on his high point. If you bring that hand up with anything more than a middle finger, I'll blow so many holes in you, your mama won't even be able to recognize you. He turns and walks away down the street. Call the real police. File a police report. See the guy in arrest reports the next day.
Several occasions living in Brazil, you basically have to go shopping armed, brush your teeth armed, shit while having a holstered gun, sleep with a gun under the pillow. Early 2000s in Hewland, late at night at my Gramps' house. He spots a guy on a bike jumping over the fence of a neighbor. Activate GranTorino.jpg. Gramps grabs a car 98K, puts it behind the door. The guy is stealing a TV. Gramps kindly asks him to place it back on. He starts speaking shit to Gramps, threatening him. Gramps takes the car 98K from behind the door, blows a hole in the neighbor's fence, racks the bolt violently while screaming slurs. He never comes back and I get a new bicycle, yay. More recent, be in a beach house spending the new year of 2014. Walking to my room, hear a noise in the bushes near the fence. Go investigate. Greeted by a 38 barrel to the face and shut up, Maine. A crackhead is with a 38 over my fence, and when he tries to help his partner jump it, both fall over me. Bolt towards the gun room. A firefight ensues. The back of my beach house is pretty much destroyed after over 40 shells of .12 and 5 mags of 13 plus 1 of 380. Laid down a lot of suppressive fire until they stopped shooting back. No sleep.jpg. Went there in the morning. Bullet holes, lots of blood, and a trail towards my fence. No one called the police.
How the fuck did you get a carry permit in Brazil? I thought it was ridiculously hard to get one.
Befriend your local federal police sheriff. Enjoy having benefits regular citizens don't. It sucks to live in the third world, though. Another story that happened to me. Be walking home from the gym. In a tank top, shorts, and a .25 ACPFN baby Browning in my pocket. It's called the Beggar Stopper by my chief, who has an identical model. Walking home around 9 p.m. See a bunch of gangbangers coming by. Don't make eye contact. One of them purposely bumps into my shoulder. He keeps staring at me as I keep walking. Frustrated that I didn't stare back, he comes to grab my shoulder. I pushed him away. He attempts to draw something out of his pocket. I already have the FN ready, fire a single round into the air. He runs. I ran. Got home safely. Wish I had shot him in the face, but I certainly wouldn't do that with a .25 ACP and a single magazine.
All right, guys, I've got a good one. At home with a fairly new girlfriend. No idea how she feels about guns. Roommates are out, not expecting them home until evening. Hear this god-awful, nightmare-inducing sound from my kitchen. Shoot up in bed, full red alert now. Hear it again, closer to my room. Must be in the dining room now. It's a low, grumbling roar. It trembles and reverberates around the house. I can't even begin to imagine what it is. I'm picturing some awful beast. Rabid mastiff? Lovecraftian horror? Snorks? One more time, louder now, and I hear rustling and footsteps. I launch out of bed, reach into my closet, and produce my Mossberg 500. I hold the slide release and check the chamber to make sure it's ready. Wearing only my boxers, I slowly open my bedroom door with one hand. Shotgun at low ready in my other hand. Moving down my hallway as quietly as possible, I round the corner to see. My roommates and a friend are standing in the living room. They were at the Renaissance Festival. One of them bought a fucking Didgeridoo. We all had a good laugh, and when I went back into my bedroom, my girlfriend was completely bewildered. I explained what happened, and she laughed. More than a year later, we're engaged. I gave her a Smith & Wesson 642 for Christmas this year. She wants a shoulder holster.
Be watching TV about 2 a.m. in the second floor bedroom. See a light go past the window, whatever, just traffic. The light comes back and stays on the window for a few seconds. Okay, that's not normal. Look out to see someone from the basement level shining a flashlight into the windows. Can only see the light and the top of their head from my bird's eye vantage point. Great. Someone is looking for a way in. The person starts walking around the house towards the front door. Great. They are going to break in my front door. Grab my trusty Smith & Wesson Model 27 and go into the living room and wait at the door watching. In total darkness, watching through the glass in the door as the person rounds the corner of the house. all features and details still washed out by the light they are holding. They are coming towards my door. Closer, closer. Okay, it's happening, no doubt about it now. The person steps under my porch light, and all the details and features previously washed out are revealed. Holy shit, it's a state cop, lurking around my property like a ATF. Put the gun down on the floor out of view of the door because I don't want to get shot, and open the door as slowly and non-threateningly as possible. The cop tactically shits himself as he is surprised by a man in underwear and slippers asking him WTF he is doing. Find out he is investigating a call about a prowler from a neighbor. He has the balls to ignore my request for him to stay outside while I get my ID. This stupid fuck doesn't realize he could be dead right now if I was the baddie he was looking for. He had the drop on him big time. Go to bed angry that the cop wouldn't stay outside and about how stupid he was.
Not closing the door before getting ID.
Agreed. That was my mistake. Live and learn, as they say. This one is a little bit spooky, skeletons. Be about 20, home alone with the dog in the middle of the day. Was just outside, so only the screen door was closed, the main door wide open. In the basement, doing laundry, the dog follows me down, loading the washing machine, and the dog is laying there wagging her tail looking at me. Start hearing heavy boot footsteps across the hardwood upstairs. Listen to them go from the kitchen to the other side of the house where the bedrooms are. Weird, I didn't hear the door open. Must be Dad stopping in from work. More laundry commences, the dog unfazed. Hear a few more footsteps. 30 seconds later. Wait a minute, that makes no fucking sense. Dad never comes home in the middle of the day. Realize now that we have a home invader. Grab Dad's pistol from the safe that is conveniently and fortunately downstairs and load it up. Grab the dog by the collar with the pistol in my other hand and slowly and silently walk up the stairs, holding the dog still, and check each room on the bottom floor. Repeat for the upstairs. Find no one and nothing out of place. Lock the door and scratch my head. I heard distinct footsteps like walking in heavy boots. Nothing similar has happened since.
House sitting at my dad's place for a week while he's off for a programming convention in D.C. Uneventful week. Do little more than play vidya and browse some anime website. Brought my LC9 in case I needed it. The only gun I had at the time. Dad comes back, have a nice dinner, and pack my stuff back up. It's well after dark now. As I'm finishing loading some of my old stuff left in his basement into my car, a van with tinted windows rolls up. It just stops on the other side of the street across from me. Every few seconds it rolls an inch or so. Paranoia is kicking in. Unzip the case on the LC9 in my glove box and grab a mag in my offhand. 2012 Illinois weapon transport laws are New Jersey tier. 2 minutes pass with me just staring at the van, preparing to load as fast as I can. The window finally rolls down, and it's full of 3 blondes who are all #whitegirlwasted. Are you coming or what? Hurry up. What? As I step back a bit from my car and close the door. Oh, we thought you were someone else. Spaghetti.png. The only thing I can think to say is, well, I'm not. The van parks in the driveway of a nearby house and starts honking. Realize that I just locked my keys in the car. The nearest spare is 90 miles off. Damn it.
Okay, here's a close one that happened over a decade ago. B15, homesick from school. Father's job involves domestic disputes that often end in women leaving their husbands. The husband seek revenge for it. It has happened several times. Other stories. He knows this, and we have a shotgun in the house. The doorbell rings around 11 a.m. Creep silently to the front door and look through the peephole. A man in plain clothes with something gunmetal black in his right hand, hiding it slightly behind his back. See his car parked outside, a beat-up 80s Ford. He bangs on the door, grab the gun, hide behind the couch, and call 911. The operator tells me to stay put. No shit. The guy starts circling the house, trying the windows, the back door, the screen door. Everything is always locked. He starts peering through the windows, can see his shadow above me when he looks in the window above the couch. I'm under it, my fingers tightening on the shotgun. He walks away, goes back to the front of the house, a sigh of relief. The piggies arrive and draw on him, make him get down on the ground. He lies flat on the pavement while they search him and his car. They come to the front door. I put away the shotgun. Son, is this what you saw? A large black Maglite flashlight. Turns out he was a Terminix employee and was coming to the house to look for termites. My parents forgot to tell me. They come to your house in plain clothes so they don't scare the neighbors into thinking you have termites. Whoops.
Why would you ruin a working man's day like that?
Didn't know he was there looking for termites. He wore no uniform, and I have had other run-ins with angry husbands coming to the house. Tell me that if someone in plain clothes was circling your house trying doors and windows, you wouldn't do the same thing.
Be me. Just turned 17, playing Call of Duty and chatting with friends on Facebook. Get a message from my ex. Why would you say that about Tina, you asshole? What.jpg. One argument later, I get linked to a few profiles, fake names and profile pictures, insulting everyone on my friends list. Have also added everyone in my town. Personalized racist posts for most of them. Look at the most recent status. Both profiles claim to be me. Give out my phone number and address. Go find my phone. 19 voicemails and 37 texts. All death threats. Call the police. Tell the officer everything. Replay the voicemails. Show the texts. Show the death threats now flooding my Facebook inbox, and show the fake accounts. The most we can do is have extra patrol in this area. 30 minutes later, one cop drives by. The only patrol they did. Too freaked out to do anything but watch out the window. An hour after the cops drove by, a car stops in front of my house. Freak out more. Run to my room and grab the Maverick 88 and the target loads. It's all I have. Run back to the living room and look out the window. 4 assholes now walking into my yard. One has a baseball bat. Can't tell what the other 3 have. Fling open the front door. Step onto the porch and rack the slide. One jumps in the car and drives off. The other 3 scatter. Call the cops again. Well, we can't really do much in this situation, but since you are in fear of your life, we will call the school in the morning and tell them why you won't be there. The next morning, the school calls and says I'm not allowed to come back until they call me and tell me it is safe. I have no clue who was behind those profiles, but they are the most successful trolls I have ever seen.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel, as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.